Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Odin's Movie Blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. How is everyone doing this evening? Happy Tuesday to everyone out there. Welcome to the One Man Low Council. Welcome to episode 172 of the Welcome to Asgard podcast. And starting off, I need to give a shout out because it just happened to John Lake Moss, who has become a $2 pledger on Patreon. So thank you very much, John Lake Moss, for joining the Patreon crowd. I will try and add your name to the July credits, though with August right around the corner, maybe I'll just shout you out at the end of every video to save myself some time. So, as you can tell from the title, it is indeed an end of summer movie chat because this is technically the last stream I have of summer, because starting tomorrow, I have to start getting up around the same time I normally do, and we have meetings all day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of this week, and then students start to come next week, and we'll have a rolled in type situation where certain grades, so one grade will come in every day at a time, so it'll just be the freshmen one day, sophomores one day, and then all the students back on campus by Friday for the first official day of school. And it's just insane to think that the summer has truly flown by. On yesterday, we had our last AMM of The Conversation, the film from the 1970s, which was a pretty solid movie. It was an enjoyable experience, but yeah, lots of things going on in the world around us as they continue to go around us. Of course, got some big news that broke a little bit earlier. I would need to shout out Orange Hat Reviews because he did tag me in it almost immediately upon it going live, and that's that AMC apparently has struck a deal. Again, AMC apparently has struck a deal with Universal. So for those that can maybe remember, they at one time were in a spat with each other, where AMC and other chains too said that, oh yeah, you think that you want to release your movies the same day on video on demand online, the same day it gets released in theaters. AMC said nay, nay. And I knew that wouldn't last forever, and surely it hasn't. And they've actually come to an agreement. And that agreement is an interesting one, to say the least. And the stipulation now is that it'll be a 17-day. So again, a 17-day release, or rather a 17-day delay between when Universal films get released in theaters and when they can then be made available on demand. Now, I was trying to pull up the story over on Twitter, but for some reason, it's actually not popping up, which made me think that maybe it was false information, because sometimes they pull those things down. But here it is. Hollywood Reporter broke this today, and so we'll go ahead and just read through it together just a little bit before jumping into the chat. So it says the studio will have the option of making any of its titles, this is Universal now, as well as films from Focus Features, which is a part of Universal, available on premium VOD after just 3 weekends of play in the cinemas. So that is the deal that has been struck. The deal, which presently only covers AMC's U.S. locations, shatters the traditional theatrical window, a long-standing policy that has required studios to play their films on the big screen for nearly 3 months before making films available in the home. The unprecedented move on the part of the mega exhibitor, AMC, has far-reaching implications for the film business, particularly amid the ongoing corona pandemic and related theater closures, and is a major coup for Universal. AMC, the country and world's largest theater chain, is expected to share in the revenue from PVOD. The debt-laden company was hit particularly hard because of the pandemic, although recently found new institutional investors. More than any other studio, Universal has pushed for years to shorten the theatrical window, but it has backed down in the face of boycott threats from AMC and other exhibitors. And in March, AMC CEO, in a sharp rebuke, said the company would boycott all Universal titles. Tuesday's announcements did not say what the cost for premium VOD titles would be, but Trolls and other recent films were priced at $20 for a 48-hour rental video. Sources suggest AMC may receive 10% of each rental. The PVOD policy was a part of a multi-year agreement in which AMC agreed to play Universal films. The deal includes at least 3 weekends of theatrical exclusivity for all Universal Pictures and Focus features, at which time the studio will have the option to make its titles available on PVOD. Universal said its traditional windows for electronic sell-through on regular VOD will remain unchanged. And that is incredibly interesting. And what I'm not seeing here is whether or not any other changes have happened. Because as you all know, I used to cover box office stuff when there was a box office. And normally the way it would go is that a studio like Universal, like Disney, would get around 90% or so of the box office for the first 2 weeks. I'm assuming that is still going to hold true. And the way that AMC is getting around this is that just with Universal now, who knows if they'll make deals with other studios or what the hell that's going to look like, but basically allowing Universal to put their stuff onto premium VOD. So again, that $20 rental, that's what makes it premium because it costs more than what it normally would. That AMC allegedly, and again, this is just rumors according to the article, that they might get 10% of it, which is interesting, seeing that once it goes PVOD, AMC would no longer be involved. They would have literally no involvement in hosting that, unless, of course, they're using their own platform, right? Because AMC does have video on-demand services now, but it sounds like it's 10% of all VOD, which might include Apple, might include iTunes, Google Play, etc. So that is actually a much bigger announcement because the ramifications of that could be large because it could mean future relations with other studios. It could mean future changes between the relationship with theaters and studios. And in the end, though, I honestly don't think it's going to be enough to save the movie theaters themselves because, as I made mention in my video today, you need movies and they need to open. And there's really not much else that can really be said at this time. But hope everyone's doing well. Today's been kind of a little bit of a rough day, obviously, because, getting ready for school, that's always a bit of a downer. Some things going on, personal life as well. If you could please keep Freya in your prayers. Don't worry. Baby is healthy. She is healthy. So there's nothing wrong on that front. But there's just a lot of other stuff going on that's going to cause a lot of anxiety and is going to cause a lot of stress. Especially as we get closer towards the birth. And let me just say, again, without going into too many specifics, maternity leave being a big issue. So that's all I can really say about it without going into too many details with it. But again, please keep Freya in your prayers because, again, health-wise, everything's great. Everyone's great, but things are going to get a lot more crazy as we get closer, which is why tonight I don't know if I'll be able to go the full 90 minutes that I normally do. So we'll see how we get through it. But anyway, let's go ahead and start off with my D-Live fam. Dean Heiss is celebrating a sub anniversary. Thank you very much, Dean Heiss, for being awesome and for being a sub for so long. Captain ZK-Man has just resubbed for 1 month and is on a 4-month sub streak. Thank you very much, ZK-Man. And K-Man, thank you so much for joining us on the Chosen of Valhalla stream that was hosted last Sunday. It is still available on the main channel. We got Captain Mr. Roy, who was there as well. Captain Mr. Roy, who was there. Dean Heiss, ZK-Man, Philly the Hobbits. Philly the Hobbit, thank you very much for the lemon donation. Adam Frank and the Clan is here. Will Gentry is here as well, as they are having discussions with each other. Captain Dean Heiss, there it is, has now just resubbed for 3 months, or has just subscribed, rather, for 3 months. So Dean Heiss, thank you very much for the 3-month sub. Appreciate that. Adam with the tag says, we shall see what happens with theaters, buddy. Yeah, we will. We're moving into uncharted territory. Again, a 17-day, 3 weekends of exclusivity, and then studios have the option to go on demand. And right now, Universal and AMC have a deal where it looks like AMC will get a cut of that PVOD. I don't know if that's going to be a sustainable model or if other studios are going to play ball with it. It's going to be pretty crazy. Adam then says, yes, no stress in Damama. No, not at all. In fact, I feel like I'm taking on more of the stress than she is. So, but you know what? I would rather I be the one taking more of the stress than her, because she's already doing enough work. Captain K-Man says, it was a fun stream on Sunday. Thanks for having me on. Well, thank you very much for all your support, man, for being here for so many months as a supporter, watching the streams, and then, of course, also for your very generous financial support as well, man. It really does mean a lot. So thank you very much, man. Captain High says, thoughts and prayers for you, Freya and Thor. Thank you very much. Yes, indeed. Because, again, health-wise, everyone's fine. But, yeah, let's just say that the way the law works when it comes to how mothers are treated is come a long way, but still needs to go a little bit further, especially when it comes to new employment. But anyway, let's go jump over to my YouTube fam now. What's going on, YouTube fam? Mr. Roy was over there as well. Member Andrew Hoyle was there. Member Lord Toth. What's going on, bruv? Torley Wolf, who's also a member, says, in the words of the immortal northwest side of Chicago's Superdog, best hot dogs on the planet, hiya. Well, that just sounds delicious. We got the Empress of the Universe, Tina, in the chat as well. Hope you are doing swimmingly. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being awesome this summer, especially with all the extra streams. And also, yes, if you have a comment or question, tag Odin Question. Though, as I said, I don't know how long I'll be on tonight, but I'll try and get through as much as I can. Andrew Hoyle says, as much as I love Mahler, I can't bring myself to watch him play The Last of Us Part 2. Yeah, I've already seen PewDiePie play through it, and that was enough. Seeing him die on the inside almost every stream, something new happened, was just a little too much for me as well. Andrew Hoyle. And again, Andrew, thank you for being a member. Bruce, who is a member, is here, as well as Lord Toth says, hail. Hail again to all of the members on the channel. You guys are all awesome. Again, it really does mean a lot, especially, you really just have no idea, right? But with behind-the-scenes stuff, because, everyone's like, oh, yeah, YouTube, man, it's so great, it's awesome, yeah, oh, man, an ad's playing, you must be making bank. It's like, no, not really. So it's really the members, especially this month, that have been kind of, keeping that coming in. So to the members here, even though YouTube still takes 30% of that. Again, seriously, YouTube sucks. All these giant tech corporations suck, and obviously, I'm sure all of y'all know about how Twitter and YouTube, Google, all of them have been censoring alternate information from doctors. Now, obviously, I know that there's more to the story than everything implies, but still, silencing different information and stuff like that, I've just never been a fan of, right? Just, it's always frustrated, it's always infuriated me, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Golden Ration, what's going on, man? Glad to see you in the chat. Zachariah315/Neons. Soul Assassin is here as well. Keck44, what's going on? GMonkey76 is here. We got Greta Zenner. What's going on? Greta says, hello, Odin, everyone. Hope you are doing very well. Bruce says, hail, Odin. Thank you again for being a member, Bruce. Alice McCarthy, who's a member, says, hey, Odin. How's it going? Just stopped by to say howdy. Watching Tombstone at Smallville with the missus. Very nice combination there. Interesting combination, but a nice one nonetheless. Zachariah315 says, howdy, 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 how. Thanatos Felicitas says hello, and I'm going for 17 minutes 32 seconds. Really? Is that what you think I will be behind? Is that how far behind you think I'll be? Is that what you're doing now? Is that y'all taking bets on that now? As Lord Toast says, hail again. How many times can you say hail, bruv? Super Anime Gamer says, hello, what is up, my dude? What's going on, Super Anime Gamer? Lord Toast, that's disgusting. How dare you put pineapple on pizza? How dare you? And then you put the alcohol there. That's a double nay-nay for me. Double nay-nay for me. Angry Mango, that's a new name. What's going on, Angry Mango? Nathan Slay, Will Gentry. Orange Eye Reviews, there he is. Member on the channel. Says, hey, glad I pointed out to you. Yeah, thank you very much for doing so. But it looks like we also still really don't know the full details of that deal and what it's actually even going to look like. Eric K, who's a member on the channel. What's going on, Eric K? Glad to see you in the chat. Eric K, you're awesome. Thank you. Rob D says, hey, Odin, do you consider Batman Returns to be a Christmas movie? I watched it last night. Well, depends on how you define Christmas movies. It takes place, I guess, during the Christmas season with snow and such. So sure, why not? Why the hell not? That's what I would say to that. If we consider Die Hard a Christmas movie, then that should be a Christmas movie. Keely Chow, what's going on? Glad to see you in the chat as well. Glad to see you all very much here. Let's see. Alex, just Alex, who says, this is dumb. I don't know what that's in reference to, but I hope that you're fine and doing swimmingly. Hail to you. Even if that was geared towards me. Good luck with that. Good luck with life. Lando Calrissian. Lando. Oh, Lando. I haven't seen you here in a very long time. Lando Calrissian, who says, my performance in Exorcism of Brie Larson was a masterpiece. Well, thank you very much for that, Lando Calrissian. And I'm glad to see you here in the chat. Lord Toast says, having a glass of wine, barbecuing burgers and corn on the cob, waiting for the epiphany we all need right now. So many of us need an epiphany in this life. That's so true, Lord Toth. And barbecuing burgers sounds delicious. Makes me realize I need a grill. I need a grill, and I would very much like to grill some burgers. Yes, indeed. Eric M., what's going on, bro? Hopefully things have calmed down. Nathan Slay, the game at the movie theaters and movie studios are playing with the movies. The never-ending story. Yes, indeed. Will it come out? Will Tenet actually get a release date? Who knows? Feels like it never ends. Andrew Hoyle, thank you very much for the prayers, man. I appreciate it. Eric K., who's a member, says, family always comes first. We will be here regardless. Well, thank you, Eric K., for understanding that. I always appreciate it. Lord Toth is laughing, says, we always talk behind your back. I figured you do. I figured you do. You know that I read the ones that are, actually tagging me, Try and keep things consistent here on the channel. Nathan Slay, I will make sure to keep your wife and your baby in your prayers. Well, thank you very much. I also like how you said in your prayers. I know what you meant by that, but yes. Thank you, man. I really do appreciate it. Trevor Random, what's going on, man? Glad to see you here. Robert Frey is in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Eric M says, hey, Odin, if there was a Geeks Gamers movie, will you review it and like it? There never will be one, I imagine. So, but if there was a movie in general and it was available at a movie theater, sure. Lord Toast says, one day closer to pension, says Lord Toast. Mr. Peabody, good morning to you. He is indeed 12 hours away. We also have a member, Dean Heiss. What's going on? He says, hey, YouTube fam. Thank you, Dean Heiss, member being here. Baxter, what's going on? Is a member as well. Hello, everyone, she says. Running late, but I made it. Glad to see you here. Bruce says, package is in. Don't forget to pick it up. Well, again, I haven't been to the post office. Again, crazy day. Crazy stuff going on in life in general. But thank you for letting me know. I will try and pick it up when I can. Alrighty, let us see where we are in the chat. Let us see where we are. And Tina, I agree with that assessment that you just made. And you know what I'm talking about. Nathan Slay, thanks for tagging me, man. He says, I really do think that Spider-Man 2 is a classic superhero movie. Same with the first one. Spider-Man 2 is fantastic. Spider-Man 1's great. Spider-Man 3, not so much. Not that good. Tina B says, you're welcome. Steph message that she'll try to get into the chat. She and her mom made it safely, and watching Mahler play Last of Us Part 2 has been hilarious. Mahler's laughing his behind off. Yeah, I can imagine that. At the very least, that would be entertaining. At the very least, that could be entertaining, for sure. No question about that. And yes, thoughts and prayers out to Steph, who is, again, the general, one of my Valkyrie, who is not here, or will try to be here tonight, but probably won't. And Steph, if you're listening to this, please, again, stay with the mama. Everything's fine. Just I think another surgery, non-threatening. I mean, obviously every surgery is threatening in some way, but this is not a major threatening surgery, so should be pretty standard procedural. But still, of course, our thoughts and prayers going to be with Steph and Mama Steph. No question about it. Geekimus Prime tagged me, says, hey Odin, what's going on? Geekimus Prime, hope you are doing well. Hope everything is going swimmingly. Eric K says, hey, I just came in from LOL joking. Eric K, I see what you did there. Ooh, boy. Oh, I see what you did. You throwing that shade, man. Hardwick is in the chat, says, what are your thoughts on the popular opinion that Batman Mask the Phantasm is better than any of the live-action Batman movies? Well, having seen Batman Mask the Phantasm, to me, that's an impossible opinion to have. I mean, obviously you can have an opinion because subjectively you can think of whatever you want, but I'm sorry, it's impossible to have a comparison as far as it being just in the Batman universe of an animated movie versus a live action. There's just so many different factors, so many different things that animation is versus what live action is. So I don't agree with that assessment because I think that they're in their own category. So as far as everything I've seen animated from Batman and Mask of the Phantasm, yeah, best animated Batman, I would argue. As far as live action goes, I still go with The Dark Knight. Andrew Hoy, who's a member, says, I always force my wife to watch Die Hard at Christmas. Yeah, it's fun because in my Blu-ray collection, I actually have the Christmas sweater edition, the ugly Christmas sweater edition of Die Hard. So if they sell it, it must be true. Super says, I'm good, thanks. Just got done watching Count Dankula's great new vid on Glencoe and laughing at the DNC police news. Sorry to hear about Freya's troubles. That's okay, Super. No problem at all. And again, thank you very much for the support. Appreciate it. Yeah, the DNC news was hilarious. This world. What is going on with this world? Keely Chow, what's going on with you? She says, not much. With me, just kind of, again, craziness of life. I was feeling really, really down. I was just laying down on my sofa upstairs like literally 30 minutes ago, and I was just like, I just don't want to get up. I just want to lay here and relax and just, fix things. It's one of those things too, the reason why I'm kind of in a bit of a mood, and it might not seem like it, when you do things like YouTube and, I've done things like theater for most of my life, there's this level of persona that you can always put on. But sometimes it's harder when there's other things going on, right? And the reason why for me, y'all know I always try and keep it real with you guys, just because there's some things in life that you can't control. There's some things in life that you can't fix. And there's things that really need to be or I really want to be fixed with situations going on. And I have no power. I have no ability to change it. So I was struggling with that a little bit earlier. And but yeah, that's why I wanted to still do the stream, though, at least for a little bit, though, because y'all also, seriously, it is the sense of release. My wife was already, planning on having some time with her mom on the phone. So it ended up all working out in the end. But that's why I wanted to keep it a little short, because by the time that ends, this stream will be over. And then, I want to try and spend some time with her as well. So Soul Assassin says, it ain't Christmas till Hans is hanging off Yakatomi Plaza. Yippee-ki-yay. Yes. Yes. I think a lot of people feel that way. Baxter, who's a member, says, does that mean Iron Man 3 is a Christmas movie too? I guess. That one I associate less, because even though it takes place during Christmas, I feel like the Christmas theme isn't as prevalent. Then again, it also has been a very long time since I've seen Iron Man 3, so hey, it could be. Why not? Why the hell not? Tim Tringle Jr., I see that name in the chat. What's going on? Dean Approved says, Que pasa? Que pasa, Dean Approved? And then you, of course, have to ruin your comment and ruin your statement by putting the execrable, the terrible and disgusting pineapple pizza emojis next to each other. That's ridiculous. Patui, I spit on you. Eric K., who's a member, says, you do not have a grill. Damn, dude, are you living in the dark ages? You need a grill and a smoker. Yeah, well, again, we did move up here within the past year, right? We got this house really with only the past few months. It's been quarantine. Finances have been crazy because of furloughs and new things. Just, again, madness. So a grill is on the agenda. It's just not in the cards right now, as much as I wish that it was. But yeah, don't worry, man. Definitely plan on getting that grill, because my wife wants me to start grilling some chicken, some burgers, get some steaks. Oof, could be delicious. All right, so with that being said, let me jump back over to my D-Live fam. Hopefully, D-Live fam, y'all have been keeping yourselves entertained like y'all normally do. Adam says, if you need anything, I'm here, brother. Well, thank you very much, man. There's just some things that no one can provide. So I appreciate it, though. And again, that's kind of the funkiness, right? That's the fun, and not the good kind of funk, right? Not the good kind of funk, because there's good funk and there's bad funk. But there's certain funkiness that, you just have no control over. Adams then says, let's hit the buffet. Take me to the buffet. I want the buffet. I want the crawfish etouffee in the buffet. Chocolate, actually, would be great right now. I have no chocolate or sweets in the house other than, chocolate milk and stuff like that. So actually, when I was like hitting at one of my lower points, I had a bowl of goldfish with that salty and then a glass of chocolate milk with just a little bit of the Starbucks caramel. That was nice. Didn't fix everything, but it was good. It was delicious. Adam then says, Lando is awesome. Hello, Lando. Yeah, Lando from YouTube. He's a legend in YouTube land. If you can go back to some of the older streams we used to do, Lando was king. Peabody says, what's wrong with Freya? Does she need a drop bear? Well, we all know this, Peabody. No one needs a drop bear. Drop bears are terrifying. We would never want a drop bear anywhere near Freya, especially at this point in her pregnancy. But yeah, it's stuff that I can't go into further detail than what I've already said. And then Captain ZK-Man tagged me over there on D-Live and said, Christmas movie is going to have to wait. I'm dealing with Halloween first by pre-ordering the 4K Steelbook of Hocus Pocus. Ooh, 4K of Hocus Pocus. Nice. That's a good choice. It's a very good choice. Speaking of good choices, I've also decided as a way of distracting myself a little bit. So I've already made copy-to-copy, like duplicate copies of the Star Trek original series, but now I'm actually doing individual episodes, so that way I can put that also on the server and then actually watch it kind of like Netflix, because you can do that with Plex. So my first, of course, goal was to get it completely digitized, though, because that was the point of the preservation project, which is still going on, just again slow going. Because the campaign ended and things slowed down a little bit, but that's okay. And so now it's, okay, well, you know what? I've never seen original Star Trek, so this would be an easy way to do it. Plus, again, it just, as I said, keeps me nice and distracted, and sometimes it's a good thing to be distracted. Never want to be distracted too much, though. Captain High says, was watching some John Panette today. Get out of the line, hysterical fun. John Panette is hilarious, and that's why I love to quote him on stream. I say nay, nay, John Panette, right there. I went to the buffet. Get out of the line. And I can't do that one, but it's great. Dean Approved, tag me. Thank you very much for the tag, bruv. Says, quarantine is what keeps us from coming together today. Yes. Love that Princess Bride reference. Orange Hat Reviews, who is a member, says, prayers for fortuitous circumstances coming your way, my friend. Well, thank you very much, Orange Hat Reviews. I really do appreciate that. Golden Ration, thank you for the prayer hands. Do really appreciate that, man. Sasha Neons. Moving over Die Hard, Klaus is the best Christmas movie. You can take third place behind It's a Wonderful Life. It's a Wonderful Life. It's a great Christmas movie. Yeah, that's right. Klaus, which I watched this year, was a fantastic, not even just a fantastic Christmas movie, just a fantastic movie. Just fantastic animation. There was just so many great things. In that movie. And I was glad it got nominated. And did it end up winning the Raven Award? Honestly, I can't remember whether it won the Raven Award or not. As my Make MKV player is making things much easier, because it's just automatically clicking the exact titles that I need. Because this Blu-ray set actually comes with 2 editions of each episode. One has the old original effects, and then the other has the updated effects with some CG stuff. So I'm going with Angle 1 is what it's called, which I'm assuming is the original. Bruce says, contact about the package. I did tune in hoping for an unboxing, but I'm okay. Not really, I'm okay. Well, again, Bruce, it's not always a guarantee, man. I didn't know it was here. So sometimes I don't... Excuse me. Haven't sneezed on air in a long time. But thank you for the bless yous in advance. But yeah, even when people send me tracking, there's so much stuff to do during the day. I can't keep up with it all. Andrew Hoyle is a member, says Spider-Man 2 is the best live action version of Spidey, followed closely by the Japanese Spider-Man series. Yeah, Spider-Man 2 is definitely great. However, for me, the ending is a little rough, because I believe Spider-Man 2 is where you have MJ running in the wedding dress with the lighting. And that part makes me cringe. So it's almost perfect, but I think I actually prefer Spider-Man 1. Nathan Slay, I agree with what you said on Spider-Man trilogy. It's pretty much the Godfather trilogy of superhero movies. The first two are great. Third one sucks so much. Yeah, and also I would say that you could argue that there's a debate about whether the first or second film is better. I think most people think that the second one's better, but I like the first. Hardwick, what are your thoughts on Emilia Clarke's performance in Solo Star Wars Story? Well, again, the movie's extremely forgettable, and she was there. There's really nothing special about it. Any other actress could have stepped into the role and done as good of a job. Wasn't a very demanding part. So, yeah, odd question to hear about Solo during these times. Lord Toast says, good times. Rob D, thanks for tagging me, man. Says, yeah, animated movies and live action movies should not be compared. You can draw the characters however you want, but you are forced to pick an actor to play a character. Yeah, and again, there's so many different dynamics. So again, if you subjectively believe something, okay, fine. It's your subjective opinion, dude. But if you were going to say, well, objectively speaking, it's better because of this, it's got different categories. So you literally can't, it's apples to oranges, basically. Like, they're both fruit, but they're not the same. There is a difference. There's going to be a best apple and there's going to be a best orange, and they're still not going to be in the same category. Exactly. Golden Ration says, hope everything goes well. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Lord Toth, who's a member, says, burgers and corn and potatoes done on the barbecue. Ketchup when done. Nice. I would skip the corn, though. I'm not a big corn person, but potatoes. Some diced roasted potatoes sound delicious. Super says, speaking of animated Batman, we still totally need to check out Under the Red Hood. This is true. It's another film I have not seen. Nathan Slay says, Iron Man 3 would be depressing to watch during Christmas. Why? Because the movie is really not very good. Yeah, you know what? It's one of those movies. Spider-Man 3 is actually a movie that I defend more often than not. And the reason why is not because I think it's a good movie. It's because I think that it's a good... it's if you go into it and you think of it as a Shane Black movie, it's much more entertaining. Is it a good Iron Man movie? Not really. Is it a good Shane Black movie? Yeah, it's actually a very entertaining Shane Black movie. So when they do the whole reveal of the fake Mandarin, I laughed my ass off. I thought it was hilarious. Trevor was fantastic. And also, most people were mad because it seemed to make a joke of a very good villain from the comics. However, there is a one-shot that was done that actually fixes that problem. Because Trevor remains Trevor, but the Mandarin is actually a real character. For some reason, they just haven't gone back and brought him officially into the universe. For some reason. Harvick says, which would you rank higher in terms of acting ability and range, Gary Oldman or Daniel Day-Lewis? I think Daniel Day-Lewis has it. I don't want to say Oscars are the key there, because at the end of the day, you could compare awards between both, and some would say, it depends on who was up that year. But Daniel Day-Lewis, I think, they're both great actors. They're both great actors. They both dive into their roles very well. But I think Daniel Day-Lewis has just a few more compelling roles that I appreciate more, is what I would say. Nathan Slay, it's kind of mind-blowing when Lethal Weapon 1 may very well be a Christmas movie, a very dark one. Oh, Nathan Slay, you devil you little devil you. Yeah, I've never heard of Lethal Weapon being thrown into the mix there, but hey. Hardwick, you might run into the problems digitizing the individual episodes of Star Trek. Each episode has alternate special effects, original remaster, connecting via seamless branching. Yeah, that's why I said there's two angles. So that's why I'm choosing angle 1, which I'm assuming means the original. If it's not the original, that's fine. Then I'll guess I'll just have all the ones with the other ones. But so I mentioned that. Pay attention. Tina, I think Klaus did win the Raven. I want to say it did too. I think it won for Best Animated Feature last year. Nathan Slay, from now on, Christmas won't ever be Christmas unless I get to hear the words Happy Trails Hans. Happy Trails Hans. Why? Tina B says, bless you at 7:28 Eastern. Well, thank you very much. It's 7:34, so definitely not as far behind tonight, and that makes me happy. It makes me happy. Eric K says, a sneeze. Oh no, the plague. Yeah, exactly. Now you all have it. Now you all have the COVID. Put your masks on, everyone. Latino Slant, who's a member, welcome to the chat. Glad to see you here. Got a new logo there, it looks like. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Says, second one is better, is Melina with incredible villain. Melina is a great villain, but here's the thing. You mentioned Melina, you mentioned him being a great villain and a great actor, but I raise you Willem Dafoe, who might be one of the greatest actors of our time, who did an amazing Green Goblin. So, yeah, you have Melina. I raise you, arguably, a better actor. Yeah, that's right. That's right, I said it. That's right, I said it. Hardwick says, the shot of Mary Jane running in the wedding dress is iconic. I don't care, Hardwick. It's in the comic and it's iconic. Doesn't mean anything to me. I'm not a comic guy. You all know this. I say this all the time. I don't care if it's iconic in the comics. As a movie shot in the scheme of the film, it's corny as hell and cringe. So don't fight me on that, Hardwick, please, because it's someone who's saying, I'm arguing from the comic perspective versus someone that's just coming from the movie perspective. There's no point in having the discussion because no one's going to move on that. Too many opinions. Dina Proof says, you got a favorite animated series beside the Clone Wars? Well, I mean, Clone Wars is not my favorite animated series. I don't know. I mean, obviously for Star Wars, it's great. It's a great series. I love it. But no, Gargoyles might be one of my all-time favorites. Gargoyles was fantastic. Also, a big fan of old school stuff like Tiny Toon Adventures. Animaniacs was also really great as well. Old school Johnny Quest was pretty good. Updated Johnny Quest was actually pretty good too. So yeah, I mean, sorry, I'm forgetting one. Batman the Animated Series. Actually, yeah, Batman the Animated Series is probably at the top of the list. And then also I'd put things like Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball. So, oh yeah, I like some animated stuff. I like me animated stuff. Orange Eye Reviews says, oh, did you see the internet is upset over Reese Witherspoon not being nominated for an Emmy? The internet is upset. Is the internet sentient? Yeah, I saw that you had posted about that, and I was like, gosh. You know, it's one thing for me to be upset about movies not being released. It's another for people to say, oh my gosh, Reese Witherspoon, she was so great in that role, and she deserved that role so much, and I'm going to because she didn't get nominated. If you think that is the worst, if you think that is the biggest snub, Tina will lay off a plethora of people that are much more deserving of getting the snubbed or people that should have been upset because they got snubbed. Nathan Slay, I might be the only one who cannot live without both Spider-Man 1 and 2 in my life. Both are my top 10 movies, favorite movies ever. They just hit all the right notes for me. Yeah, they're not they're not anywhere close to my top 10 of all time, like all movies ever. They're solid though. They're good movies. Bruce says, I'm actually glad aches and pain might make it hard to hang the whole stream, says Bruce. Yeah, and again, I probably won't be on as long as I normally am. Eric K says, you like potatoes? Try getting some Lipton onion soup mix, fresh thyme, rosemary, and garlic. Cut the potatoes into small cubes, toss everything in olive oil, cook at 425 for 40 minutes. Lipton onion soup mix. That's the one that kind of gets me, where it's like, what are you talking about? Jay Stowe, who's a member, what's going on, Jay Stowe? Says, yo, Odin, in your opinion, who is the best and worst 007? I have not seen all the 007s in my life, but yeah, I don't know. I like Roger Moore from what I've seen of him. I mean, most people would probably argue Sean Connery, but to be honest, I've only really grown up with two James Bonds, and it was Pierce Brosnan and Daniel Craig. And in my opinion, I prefer Daniel Craig's. But that's because I think the movies are better. GoldenEye is great. It's fantastic. But every other Brosnan one's not good. The last one, of course, him surfing the tsunami is the worst of all. You know, Daniel Craig has Quantum of Solace. So he definitely also has a really bad one, too. But then he also has Casino Royale, which I think is just arguably one of the better movies made in the last, 10, 15 years. And then I thought Skyfall was also solid, too. I'm definitely not a guru on 007, though. But I tell you what, N64 GoldenEye, whew, that was my jam. Andrew Hoyle, isn't the Mandarin the villain in the upcoming Shang-Chi movie? It wouldn't surprise me. And actually, yeah, right? Because isn't that in the title, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Rings or something like that? Isn't that the full title? So yeah, that would actually make sense. So yeah, they would be finally bringing it in. Thanks for the reminder on that. I've cared so little for the MCU that I must have forgotten it. Because sometimes that happens. Dean approved. I'd be surprised if they brought in the real Mandarin. He wouldn't be PC. They replaced the Sorcerer Supreme with what's her name because they didn't want to tackle a stereotype. You say that, Dean approved, but then they got the whole whitewashing claim too because it was a white woman playing the Ancient One. And here's the one thing too. I actually do defend that decision only because I think the actress that they got to play her, that got to play the Ancient One, can do anything. Obviously she probably is a political crazy kook, one of those types. She's a Hollywood person, right? But I tell you, man, she is fantastic, and I'm blanking out right now. And please don't post in the chat because I'm not gonna read it in time. So there really is no point in you posting it. So Doctor Strange, because I say it's on the tip of my tongue about the actress. Tilda Swinton, yes. Tilda Swinton can do anything. I'm just saying this right now. If they said Tilda Swinton is going to be the next Wolverine, no lie, part of me would say she might pull it off. I'm not even going to lie on that. And you might think, Owen, you're joking, you're kidding, you're just pulling my leg here. Tilda Swinton's one of those actors where I'm like, I think you could pretty much do anything you would ever want. That's what I think about that. Latino Slant. Touche, sir. But that's why both films are tied. And yes, new take on my logo. Glad you like it. Nice. Tina B, thanks for tagging me, says, I always think of The Graduate when I see Mary Jane running in her wedding gown. And note, if you say you've never seen The Graduate, I'll scream. I have seen The Graduate. And yes, I think that's actually a pretty good shout. Andrew Hoyle, who's a member, says, Defoe was amazing, but let down by the Goblin suit. No, you see, again, that's probably coming from a comic perspective. From a movie-going perspective, the Goblin suit made a lot more sense. And it actually worked very well. And the visual effects of the first one actually also worked very well, too. Rob D says, I say let the Tiny Toons loose in Lucasfilm. That'd be fun. I would say let the Animaniacs loose first, actually. Eric K is a member. Reese Witherspoon has a chin that Jay Leno says, damn, that's one huge chin. Well, that's not very nice. There's no reason to go after physical appearance like that. Super says, haven't even seen Reese Witherspoon's show. And I know for a fact Emilia Clarke and Lena Headey deserved Emmys more. Even in that last season? I don't know, man. Nathan Slay, about me saying it's not Chris about hearing Happy Trails Hans. It's because that's what John McClane says to Hans before he shoots him and makes him dangle out the window. Okay, yeah. Sometimes there's references that go over my head. Because I haven't seen the film as much as you have. Eric K, who's a member, says, trust me with the potato recipe. It's amazing. Might have to get that written down somewhere. Soul Assassin, Gargoyles was an awesome show with the characters, a mix of mythology and science fiction in it. Hard to believe Disney is capable of good works, especially nowadays. Was Gargoyles really Disney? And again, please don't answer in the chat because I'm going to look it up for myself. All right? So just leave it be. Don't make me make you excommunicado. All right, don't make me time you out. Yeah, Buena Vista Television. Yeah, so Disney would have been involved with it. There you go. There you go. Very much good, sir. Very much good, sir. And I'm trying to catch up with the chat now because I think, let's see, we've been going for about 45. Yeah, I think I'm about ready to start wrapping up already. So let's just catch up with D-Live, though. It's been a while since I've been with D-Live. Academy High says, was watching some John Panette. Got that already. Peabody drop bears are great for home security. Just ask Adam. He has one. That might be, but they're uncontrollable. Adam says, well, Lethal Weapon is set at Christmas, so always thought of it as one. There you go. He also says, we all have digital COVID now thanks to Odin. You're welcome. You are welcome. Camden High says, I'm glad CV can't be transmitted through the internet. Context your sneeze. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Fat Elvis, what's going on over at D-Life, says, Gargoyles is great. Samurai Jack's also high on my list. I still have to add it to my collection. Yeah, that's a show that I watched several episodes of and enjoyed, but I just haven't watched all of it. So that's one that I have to watch all the way through. It's on my list of things to do. All right. Let's catch up with the YouTube peeps. Slash Neon says, in the end, the Ancient One got whitewashed because China hates Tibet. Yeah, probably. But again, Tilda Swinton is amazing as an actress. Again, I haven't seen anything that she hasn't done yet. That's just all I'm going to say. Orange Eye Reviews, as a member, says, I agree, Odin. Context, Tilda Swinton. She also did a good Archangel Gabriel in Constantine. Yes! People forget she was the Archangel Gabriel in Constantine, and she was phenomenal in that part. She was great. She really was. She's done so many weird roles in her life. If you want to see her acting prowess, see the film Let's Talk About Kevin. Oh my gosh, what a disturbing film. But she's great. CW Trixie says, if you want anyone to let loose in Disney or Hollywood, let loose Freakazoid. He will drive them all insane. Freakazoid, that's also a good shout. It's a show I never really got into growing up as much, but it was still, it was a good one. Dina Proof says, to be honest, you have point with Tilda Swinton. We laugh, but yeah, she could play any role. Again, as I said, she could literally play any role. Again, there's nothing that I have not seen Tilda Swinton play yet. So, Nathan Slay says, "What's the problem with Willem Dafoe's Goblin suit? He had it in the comics. Melina played the better developed villain, but Dafoe played the more fun villain. Yeah, I see. I don't know what's wrong with the suit. The person that said there was something wrong, I'm assuming it was because of a comics thing." Baxter says, who's a member, animated X-Men was my jam growing up. Yeah, I never got into animated X-Men. It's something also that I've been wanting to see. And someone was on me for a long time watching it because I think it's all available on Amazon Prime. I just fell behind on it. Maybe I'll get back into it. Sewer says, last season they wasted Lena Headey. She deserved hers when she was nominated around season 4 or 5. Amelia Clark, I think, deserved for 8. She carried that season. Yeah, but you know what? I just don't... I don't know. I don't watch enough of the dramatic, big TV stuff to have a comparison, though. Because anytime the Emmys come around, I'm just like, okay, great. A bunch of people that I've probably heard of from movies who also do shows, but shows that I've never seen or ever have an intention to see. Super says, also just found out Watchmen was nominated for the Emmys. Why the industry is trash. Well, we knew that was probably going to happen. We knew that was a possibility because they like to nominate that kind of crap. Smoogie out of California says, you want to buy some death sticks? No, thank you. I'm good, man. I'm straight. I don't need that in my life, bruv. Super says, if Tilda doesn't play Bowie, we right. Tilda Swinton. Dude, that's actually, speaking of like ones that you could actually like visualize without makeup or anything, Tilda could actually pull off a pretty good Bowie. She could actually pull off a pretty good Bowie. I think that actually could happen. It's one of those things where, people get upset when they, gender swap and things like that. And, I'm one of those persons because sometimes it's ridiculous. The one time that I would probably have an internal struggle is if that character was Tilda Swinton or played by Tilda Swinton, just being honest. DM, thanks for tagging me, says, animated X-Men wasn't bad, but there are tons of filler episodes. That was kind of the nature of television, though, at that time. So that actually kind of makes sense. Nathan Slay, I don't get cringe induced by MJ running after Peter in her wedding dress. My mother has seen too many cheesy Hallmark movies, so I could take it. Yeah, for me, just with the tone of the movie and everything else, I was just like, ugh. To me, that here's the other thing too, right? Because someone said earlier, it's iconic. It's like what that tells me is that the director Sam Raimi said we have to have this shot in the movie because it's iconic. And then he put it in there. And then when you take it into the context of the rest of the movie, it's just like visually speaking, it just is so different. It's distracting. It's actually very disruptive in the context of the rest of the movie. So basically, the only people that would have liked it would have been people that are fans of the comics who would have been like, oh, I know this scene. It's iconic. And then people like me who had no reference to the comics were like, okay, but visually, you have to understand this is inconsistent. This is not like the other parts of the film, and that's not good cinematography work stuff. Anyway, Smooth out California. I don't want to sell you some death stick. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. Super says she has the right cheekbones. Yeah. Greta Zender says Kate Blanchett played Bob Dylan and she was amazing. That's right. I forgot. That was the movie where a bunch of actors played Bob Dylan. And yeah, Kate Blanchett's another one of those actresses that could probably play a lot of roles. Another one to Glenn Close. You want my evidence of Glenn Close? Watch Hook again. You know the pirate that gets put into the boo box? Glenn Close. Dressed as a man. Believable to me. Anyway, just moved down to California. I want to go home and rethink my life. I know, seriously, right? Tina says, you'll need to talk to Steph about whether Tilda Swinton should cast as Bowie. She is a Bowie expert. I'm not crossing Stephanie if she should say, oh, hell no. Oh, yeah, if she says, oh, hell no, then okay. Again, that's just like your opinion, man, right? That's fine. It's fine. There's no problem with that. I'm just saying, Tilda Swinton can do a lot of things. Bashy Washy, gender swap can work if done right, like Missy in Doctor Who or Starbuck in BSG. That's actually true, yeah. Missy, I think, was done right for the most part. I would agree with you there. Nathan Slay says, I mean, the train sequence in Spider-Man 2 is iconic. Not too much MJ running after. Yeah, no, trust me. As I said, again, Spider-Man 2, it's a good movie. I am not saying it's not a good movie. And again, Nathan, I hope that that's not what is being conveyed here, all right? It's not a bad movie. It's a good movie, all right? It's a great movie. Most of the film is damn near flawless, all right? But it's not perfect. And because that scene happens at the end, it kind of sours part of it. Not like Superman, the movie ending. That destroys the movie for me, but again, not to that level. But when the comparison is between Spider-Man 1 and 2, Spider-Man 1, in my opinion, is better and also has a better ending that fits with the tone of the movie and doesn't change the sequence and doesn't change cinematography randomly out of the blue either. Also, on to June. Thank you for becoming a $2 member via Patreon. A lot of random new Patreon members, so thank you. Appreciate that. Smoochie out California. Fun fact about the scene in Spider-Man 2. Tom Jane's Punisher stunt double is in the background. Originally, it was supposed to be Hugh Jackman, but they couldn't get the rights to Wolverine. Well, that's interesting. That is interesting. I did not know that. Eric K., who's a member, says, one of these things is not like the other. One of these things is not the same. Yes, indeed. Orange Reviews talking to someone else. Nathan Slay says, no, I'm not arguing with you here. I'm saying that I agree with you that MJ running has less iconic than let's say, the train sequence. Oh, yeah. Well, again, the person that said that the wedding dress scene was iconic, he was speaking specifically, I'm assuming, again, he has not come in to confirm that's the case, but I'm assuming that he's saying that in the comics, that is a panel taken directly from the comic, and that's why it's iconic, and that's why it shouldn't be cringe. And I'm saying, okay, it might be from the comic. Problem is that it does not fit the tone or the color or the styling of the rest of the movie, and so therefore it's distracting. All right, hopefully that clarifies that. All right, because I think you're talking about something that I'm not talking about. Anyway, Smoochie out California says, all the Raimi films have their cheesy moments. That was Raimi's way of paying homage to Stan Lee's work, better than the cringe forced comedy in the newer films. And again, as I said, I like 1 and 2. I just think 1's better. Smoochie out California says, cough, cough, the knock, knock hotel scene from Far From Home. Tim Tringle Jr., whoa, what's wrong with Superman the movie? Oh, Tim Tringle. Bro, I hope that's not a serious question. The ending is terrible. The going back in time by flying around the Earth, obviously I can suspend belief, right? I can buy into that being a possibility, right? Okay, fine. He can do it. But the movie, as it is portrayed, the theatrical release of Spider-Man 1, the ending is a giant plot hole that destroys the narrative. Because they show every bit of destruction going in reverse, right? To show the flow of time. And yet, He saves Lois before the earthquake gets to her. But what's been confirmed in the dialogue is that the earthquake still happened, which means all of those things and all of those destructive forces still happened. And so if we're going to believe that Superman got back to her in time to save her, that means that he couldn't have done all of those other things and saved all of those other lives. And if he did do that, then he would still be late to save her. And on top of that, the earthquake that gets her car trapped didn't happen at the time that it should have happened. So that's why the ending of Superman, the movie, sucks and is terrible. Again, Superman 1, the ending, it's crap. Anyway, Nitrium, hail to you, good sir. We are going to start to wrap things up because we're ending it early. Yeah, don't get me on rants about Superman, because you know how I feel about time travel issues, and that one pissed me off. Smooth Jam, California. The final battle scene in Superman 2, where he fights Zod, is amazing, truly ahead of its time. Yeah, I hear Superman 2 is great. I've heard that's fine. And the instant excuse when I bring all of those points that I just made up to, they're like, well, technically in the original vision, it wasn't supposed to. And it's like, I don't care. Doesn't matter. I'm talking about what we got. And what we got was terrible. Ending didn't make sense. I want logic. Again, if you're going to set rules, it's a superhero, and some people say it's a superhero movie, you're overthinking it. No. It set up rules and it broke them. All right? I can, as I said, I can buy into him being so fast that he can go around the world. But then at the same time, again, problems galore. Please don't try to defend it, because you can't. There is no way to defend it. It's just a giant plot hole. Smoothie out of California, but then they have to ruin that film's ending with the dumb amnesia kiss moment. I don't even know what you're talking about. Mark Lazar says, what do you think of Snyder's 300? Does it stand up? No. The CGI does not hold up still to this day. The slow motion fighting, which was kind of like key at that time, hasn't aged well either. I've made this point before, Mark. I don't think there's a single Zack Snyder film that has stood the test of time. That's just my honest take. And I've not seen his remake of Dawn of the Dead, so please don't bring that one up because I can't speak to it. Rob D says, the ending of Superman 78, I believe, was studio interference. And again, that might be true. Doesn't change the fact that that's the movie we got. And there is no other cut of Superman 1. And so therefore, Superman 1, plot hole. Nathan Slay says, whoa, Superman more harder to understand than Endgame. Yeah, I had more of a visceral reaction to Superman than Endgame. And you all know how I feel about Endgame's time travel. Because that, oh my gosh, that's trash. But I think Superman's is even, whoa, don't even get me started. Keck44 says, rant. Someone brought it up. And so therefore, the rant did start. Smooth Out of California says, watch Superman 2 and then you'll know. Oh, you'll know. Oh, okay, so I'm assuming that there's a amnesia kiss or something. That's silly. Soul Assassin, unless you're traveling back. Soul Assassin, don't post a comment and then take it back. Because now if you post it again, it's like I don't even want to read it now. Eric K, who's a member, says, it is Hollywood. Do not let physics and science get in the way of the story you want to tell. Eric K, I made that point, all right? It's not the physics and the science, all right? I am willing to suspend belief. I understand that we're living in a fictional universe, but if a fictional universe sets rules and breaks those rules, guess what? That is the definition of bad writing. That is the definition of bad writing. I have to clap at you. Don't you do that to me. Don't you do that to me. So again, it can't be defended. You cannot, from a logical perspective, defend it. Soul Assassin, didn't write it right. Sorry, man. It's okay. Just next time, let me figure it out and then fix it later. Smoothie California says, yeah, the ending is dumb, but come on, the entirety of the film, Superman the movie, is 1,000 times better than Endgame. I wouldn't want to watch either of them again. So to me, they're kind of in the same, the same thing. Hardwick says, do you prefer original remastered Star Trek effects? I feel like you don't listen, Hardwick, because I've mentioned several times I've never seen. The reason why I'm doing this is because I've never seen the original before, and I just happen to know that these discs have both versions, so I don't have an opinion on that, Hardwick. Yeah, Baxter, I agree. She says, okay, peeps, no more triggering going. I don't like being triggered, especially when I'm trying to end the stream. And I was trying to have a chill one tonight. 13th Warrior, how old were you when you saw Superman the movie? Sounds a bit like it scarred you somehow. I was 31 because I watched it within the past 2 weeks. I saw it as an adult with my adult brain. Dean approved. I hate what ifs. Context, Superman studio interference. I like the movie, but I'm not giving an excuse for the rule. Exactly, Dean approved. Again, and here's the thing. You can like the movie. You can subjectively enjoy it. Good for you. You like the movie. Yes. Alex McCarthy, guess what? He loves R.I.P.D. Yes, great. He likes it subjectively. But the ending does not make sense and is indicative of bad writing. Because when you don't follow your own rules, that's the definition of bad writing. Trust me. It's interesting how you have issues when I say this, but I guarantee you, if Mahler had a 5-hour video talking about it, you'd be like, oh yeah. BC, I can condense it down. Muriam Tokunbo, what's going on? How is it going? Nathan Slay, do you think the Back to the Future movies make sense with their rules? With the rules that they establish, yes. With the rules that they establish, yes. Now, does it make sense within the context of physics and stuff like that? No, again, it's fiction. Again, I'm willing to let go of, actual physics, things like that, right? As long as the rules that are maintained throughout. Kingslayer says, thoughts on Return of the Jedi? For me, it's underrated. I like Return of the Jedi. I have no problem with Return of the Jedi. Empire is still the best movie, but yeah. Bruce says, I think the remaster of Star Trek effects were very well done, not too overdone. That's what I've heard, Bruce. I've heard that the effects were pretty good. So, Harvick says, I didn't say anything about the comics when saying that the shot of Mary Jane running is iconic. The scene's not from the comics. I meant that it's an iconic movie shot. That makes the opinion even worse, Hardwick. If you think that helped your position, now it's made it even worse. Oh, Lordy. Tim Trinkle Jr. I saw it at 8, but you're right about the ending. Yeah, again, if you like the movie, fine. I don't want to take away your joy of it. But if people are going to start trying to defend the ending, I'm sorry. I got it. Eric M. Hey, Odin, will you be on Park Hoppin' forever? Again, very odd question. Out of place. There is no answer to that. Forever is a long time. Smooth Jam California, what is your favorite superhero film out of curiosity? Oh, that's a difficult one. Usually the ones that I go to are films that I think that feature superheroes but are also well-made movies. So obviously Dark Knight I put up there. I put up there also films like Captain America, Winter Soldier is also very well. Alice McCarthy says, you rang? Yes. Yes, I did. Yes, indeed, I did. Let's see. Sergeant Politeness, thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Says, little something for the media server, hopefully going well. Well, thank you very much, man. Sadly, super chats don't go towards it because YouTube takes 30% of it, and it doesn't come to me until next month. And so it's literally... I would have to have a spreadsheet breaking down percentages and stuff, and I just can't. So if you do ever in the future, and this goes for anyone, want to donate specifically to the server, you can donate now at this point. You can donate via the PayPal link or by Streamlabs link and just say, hey, this is for that, because it only takes a processing fee out, and then it's easier for me to say, okay. And it also goes into the account right away, and so it's much easier to keep up with. Eric M. Hey, Odin, do you support Jeremy helping Brie Larson get a lot of subscribers on a YouTube channel? I'm not even going to address that. Rhaegar Targaryen, Invasion USA is an objectively good film. I've never seen it, Rhaegar, so I can't say that for sure. And also, by the way, Eric, you do realize that he's joking. You do realize that the whole Jeremy Brie Larson thing is a joke, I hope. Let's see. Harwick says Simulu has been cast as the real Mandarin in Shang-Li, Legend of Ten Rings. Is apparently going to be the main villain. Don't know who that is, but hopefully that's good. Again, I don't really care about the MCU as much at this point. Legit 36. Oh hi, legit. Smooth J, California. Dark Knight, Winter Soldier are excellent films. Yes, indeed they are. Tina B says Bree is a strong, independent woman and don't need our help. Now drop that taco and get in the car with that lunatic woman. Eric K says, let me guess, your favorite superhero movie is Elektra. Oh, hell no. Hell no. Though I hear the director's cut of Elektra is not terrible. Not good, but it's like better than what the original one was. I heard the same thing about Daredevil too. Again, not that it's good, but that the director's cut, which I have actually bought since, to try and confirm that, but I haven't seen it yet myself. Spoojak California says, I stand by that Elektra ain't that bad, but it's certainly better than Captain Marvel. Still the best female-led superhero movie. Yeah, again, it's been a long time since I've seen the original Elektra film, but as I said, I think that there is a director's cut of it that apparently is actually enjoyable at the very least, right? Enjoyable to watch at the very least. All right, so, oh my goodness, D-Live fam, I'm so sorry. I was keeping up live with YouTube for once in my life, and I see that there's been some craziness going on over there. Will Jones says, take care of both of yourselves. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Y'all been taking care of some trolls, too. Thank you very much. Adam says, X-Men is now on Disney+. Adam then says, if you want to ask a question, tag like that. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's on DLive. Just put @Odin if you're on DLive. Peabody. Things are bad in Queensland. They have banned emus from the pub for bad behavior. Oh, no. Will Gentry, he's Superman. He can do anything. Stop with your complaining. The film is a classic, and we'll have none of this blasphemy. Will Gentry, you know you're wrong. It's okay. We've already had this discussion, I believe. You're wrong, but it's okay. Adam says, we stand with you, Kappa. Thank you, Fat Elvis. I think everyone has that one movie that doesn't make any sense, but love it anyways. Well, again, I don't love it, though. To me, the ending destroys the narrative. It destroys the writing. Because, again, if you don't follow your own rules, it's problematic. Nathan Slay says, do you love Batman Begins, Iron Man, and Infinity War, and Guardians of the Galaxy? Those are awesome. Batman Begins, fantastic. Yes. Original Iron Man, obviously. Infinity War, fantastic. Yeah, all those films, great. All those films are great. Jace Doe says, hey, Odin, Tina, inform me you're looking for Criterion recommendations. Might I suggest the best of Bruce Lee, Eyes Without a Face, Great Dictator, and Jabberwocky, to name a few. Yeah, I've actually bought up a few of the ones on sale. I don't think I'm going to be able to buy any more, but thank you for the recommendations, man. I appreciate it. Also, I saw this comment. Eric M. No, Jeremy is not helping Brie Larson. It is a joke. Eric M. It is a joke. He is joking. I don't know if that's not coming through, but it's a joke. All right, man? Super Anime Gamer, Catwoman is the best comic book movie. Of course you would say that, Super. Damn you. Smoochie, California. I've never watched it, but I've heard that Ben Affleck Daredevil film has a director's cut that's apparently amazing. Yeah, I don't know about amazing, but I hear that it's like leaps and bounds better than the original was. Plus, Evanescence soundtrack. How can you go wrong with Evanescence soundtrack? Come on. Alex McCarthy says, can confirm Elektra director's cut's good. Well, if Alex McCarthy's going to say it, now it's been confirmed that it's bad. Damn you, Alex McCarthy. All right, I had my hopes up, and now you had to ruin it because we all know your opinions are just oh, Lord. Martha. I love seeing random Marthas in there. Tina, I just told him it was a joke too. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if he gets it. Nathan Slay, Wonder Woman is the best female-led superhero movie. It's good. I would have to look back, really, to think about all the various superhero movies led by women. Because, again, I haven't seen I have not seen Elektra director's cut, so, hey, it could be better. You never know. Legit 36, what do you think about Watchmen, if you mean by Zack Snyder? As I said, going back to a previous comment, nothing Zack Snyder has made that I have seen, at the very least, has aged well at all. And that would include Watchmen. I hate how he changed various elements of Watchmen. Because it's one thing to change it and improve upon the material. He changed it and it didn't improve upon the material. It made things make less sense. And because of that, again, Zack Snyder is a lot of things. He is not a good writer. And I think anyone that's going to be honest with themselves is going to be able to admit, yeah, he's not a good writer. Tim Tringle Jr. says, Endgame time travel is actually the multiverse. They just didn't make it obvious. Yeah, Tim Tringle, no, again, here's the problem. They played it so many ways that they didn't even know what they were doing to him. And I have definitive proof of this, by the way, that the writing for Endgame's time travel is complete garbage, and you can't defend it with, multiverse, because they interviewed both the writers of the movie and the directors and asked them about it, and they both gave different answers. When your director and writers can't agree on what actually happened in the movie, I'm sorry, that's a badly written film. So yeah, the whole multiverse thing still also does not work with what's presented in the movie, at the very least. Eric K says, maybe he's confused about Brie because he did a live stream and someone was on there with Brie Larson talking. Yeah, and it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing, dude. So yeah, Eric K, thanks for stepping up for him. But yeah, it's a whole thing that I can't get into, really. Dean approved. I love Wonder Woman. I was just waiting for Invisible Jet to show up. Soul Assassin. Evidence was everywhere when that movie came out. Bring me to life. Damn right. Legit 36 true. I think Snyder has so many ideas, but he isn't able to coherently connect. Exactly. If he was like a producer and only a producer, I think we could see some really great movies, like some wide-scoped, great concept builds, etc. But as a director, writer, I just don't think he's got it. And Superman fan Adam Shine says, hugs and loves to Frey and the puppies. Don't forget to get out of here. Thank you, man. I've been trying to, but every time I get out, they bring me back in. Will Gentry, that's not what I heard. Last field report I got was thousands of dead Strayans. Oh, never mind. That was him talking to Peabody. So anyway, I've caught up with that. Smoothjack California says, Endgame was crap from the beginning to end. Superman was at least good for 90% of the movie. So the last 5 minutes, not competition for me. But here's the thing. Even before then, there were still also other problems with the movie. Like, that ending to me is what completely soured it on me. But two other main issues with Superman the movie are, one, based on the logic that they give you in the movie, I don't care. But he's smart. He's a genius. There's no way that with the information given that Lex Luthor could have figured out all of the things that he did about Superman. There's just no way logically that could happen. So that's a plot hole. They could have written that much better. They could have done a better job to still show that he was smart, but also have it make sense. So that's problem number one. Problem number two, when he's flying around with Lois, guess what? That's not how flying with someone that can't fly works. So as I said, it had issues beforehand, but those were minor. All right, those were really minor issues I could have gotten past, but the ending, as I said, just blah, 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 blah. Anyway, Nathan Slay saying some random person, Endgame is one of the best movies. Me, in what way? Exactly. It's not a good movie. Basically, anyone that says it's a good movie, it's because they're like, oh, but all the feels and all the character arcs are wrapping up and the feels. It's like, okay, doesn't make it a good movie. Doesn't make it a good movie. Spoojan California. Yeah, but is it Endgame bad? As I said, I put them in the same category. I don't know which one's worse. I can tell you the ending of Superman makes me more angry than the ending of Endgame. That's all I can say. I don't think either are good. However, I guess here's what I can say, Smooth Jam. There are more good parts in Superman than there are in Endgame, I guess. Gigamus Prime, what are we talking about? And this is a free topic stream. Or Gigamus, don't even, no. We're ending it. All right? So Gigamus, because you can go on for a long time too, man. So no, we're ending the stream. Anyway, thank you all so very much for being here this evening. Again, sorry for any attitude, etc. But as you all know, there's just a lot of things going on here. Smooth Jam just won't stop. Smooth Jam, I know you're trying to have a conversation, but I've been trying to wrap this stream up. He says, fair enough, then you have your opinion, but for me, I'd take Superman 4, The Quest for Peace over Endgame, never mind the classic Superman 78. Again, I've never seen Superman 4, but yeah, again, I stand by it, and it's okay. Again, subjectively, you can feel whatever you want, you can enjoy whatever film you want, man, but again, I'm focusing on the objective flaws, and all I'm trying to say is, hey, there's objective flaws, and if we can at least come together and say there are objective flaws, boom. If we can at least come together and say there are objective flaws, severe objective flaws in Superman 78 and in Endgame, then, hey, we're fine. Whatever your subjective view on it is, hey, that's your subjective view. That's you, man. And I can't take that away from you. You have every right to that subjective point of view. As long as you admit the objective flaws, then we're good. If we're not, then there's a problem. But anyway. Baxter, Jay Stowe, thank y'all. People in the chat are like, he's trying to go. Come on, he's trying to get out of here. It's like literally I said I wanted to be short, and now I've gone, almost 20 minutes over the time that I was trying to end it originally. Fat Elvis, thank you for the ice cream donation. But before I go, let me shout out because I have to. Because it is indeed a part of the deal. So anyone that is at the Army of Asgard or Keeper of the Bifrost level gets a shout out at the end of every live stream. So Eric K, Orange at Reviews, Bruce, Adam Avery, Latino Slant, Larry, the Bosco 2000, Twirly Wolf, Aiden Vickery, Jace Doe. You are all awesome, amazing people again. My Army of Asgard, Keeper of the Bifrost people, you are great. D-Live fam, y'all are fantastic. Y'all stick around. I'll take care of y'all before I get out of here completely. You guys are all amazing, beautiful people. Thank you for putting up with me tonight. Thank you for putting up with the sass and the sassafras and all that good stuff. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. And also, Tina, thank you so much for being here, going solo tonight. Shout out to Steph. Again, prayers to Steph, to our family, to anyone that's going through a rough time. Shout out to you. Shout out to all of the members on the channel. And have a wonderful night, everyone. And as always, God bless. And now a huge shout out to all of my Patreon members: Albertus Magnus, animation commentator Brian P., David Bobrizik, Dion, DivX, Enrique Evangelista, Father Christopher Miller, hail to you, Father, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan, Harold Francis, the Honker Chonker Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, Intertrap Productions, Jason Clark, Jacob Juice, Jeffrey Toon, Jonathan Carney, Kenneth Camille, Lady T, Laura Story, who is the modern Major General, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mike Jackson, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin with the beautiful hair, Orange at Reviews, Outpost Dyer, Out of Step with Reality, Riff Magos, Rosetta Ellen, Steve Glasker, Teresa Martin, Theodore Benton, Tina Bojan, The DJD Show, and Tina B. Thank you all for being my Patreon members, and a huge shout out to my Subscribe Star members: Stand For, John B., Perpetual Punster, Robert Revo, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, G2 Cool 99, Darkstar 57, Alex McCarthy, or J. Alex McCarthy Jr., US 888209 Fast, Dean Heiss, Harold Francis, J. Rod the Beer Guru, Nevadan G. Adams, and ZK Man, and Father Damian Cook. Thank you all so very much for being my Patreon and Subscribe Star members. Seriously, you are the wind beneath my wings. You help keep the lights on. You help support things like the giveaways for my $5 and up backers, and also allow me to do a lot of the extra stuff for the channel, including the exclusive OMB podcast that I do every couple of weeks with John, the Flick Pick of the Flick Pick channel. And yeah, thank you so much for your support. Don't want to really drag it out too long this month. You guys are amazing and beautiful people. If you want to have a name shout out, if you want to have access to giveaways, podcasts, any of that kind of stuff, check the links in the description for Patreon and Subscribe Star. You guys rock. Have a wonderful day. And as always, God bless.